I feel like I'm gonna ruffle some feathers in this video, but we are gonna try out a full face of makeup that other YouTubers, other creators within the beauty sphere said was their absolute least favorite products of 2024. And I'm gonna explain to you why I actually like them. And this is not a bashing video where I'm telling you like why I'm correct and they're incorrect. This is a video maybe to broaden everyone's like horizon on like why some makeup works for other people and not for others. I have combo oily skin, I live in a humid climate, I am 40 years old, I do have a lot of fine lines in my face, and for that reason some things that might work on someone that's 19 years old living in a dry climate, it might be totally different. And all of these suggestions came from people that I follow and that I really enjoy on YouTube, and there's no reason for me to think that they chose these things with dishonesty. I trust these people, I like these people, we'll just have a difference of opinions. And that's perfectly fine. We're just gonna jump into it. I'm trying something else on YouTube right now. I'm sick of my own routine, so we're gonna jump into it. So many people, you can't even see. This is how well used mine is. This is the Glow recipe. I think it's called AHA Pore Smoothing Mattifying Primer from Glow Recipe. I've used it so much that I love this one. This was in my favorites of the year. I know Tati disliked this one. I know Kelly Gooch disliked this one. Here I will say, I think that this product has a little bit of a name that makes you think it's going to do something that it actually doesn't really do. This is a mix between a skincare product and a makeup product. And the smoothing, blurring thing about this one, it's more of a skincare thing. So it has the BHA, which is going to smoothen and exfoliate your skin over time, which they have another BHA like strawberry. This is part of the strawberry line, and the serum in that one, it's great. If my skin is like acting up a little bit, it's a little rough, I get some breakouts, that serum is amazing. And this one is just like a makeup product of that. And the makeup side of this one is a mattifying primer. If you have dry skin, you won't like this one. If you buy this one thinking that this will be an instant blurring primer, that's not what this is. This is a exfoliating, blurring, smoothing your skin over time. And the makeup aspect of this product is that it is a mattifying primer that has a little bit of a tack to it, which is lovely for gripping onto your makeup. If you have dry skin, you won't like this one, especially if you buy it thinking it's going to be an instant blur. That's not what this product is going to do. But a bunch of people, my friends like Ali Dawson, like Heather Austin, that have oily skin like me, or like oily combo, that's what I have, they love this like me because it is really a mattifying and elongates the makeup wear, because this just helps your makeup from not breaking down, especially if you're living in humid climate like both me and Heather and Ali are doing. So if you have oily skin and you're looking for something to get your makeup to last longer, this one is great. I even have a backup. That's when you know. I'm reading through my notes and I saw that also Lauren May also mentioned this one as her least favorite product, which maybe surprises me a little bit more because she also has oily skin like me, but I also know she loves a glowy product. But again, it doesn't really matter though, because sometimes people just want different things. And like I said, I think the marketing of this one probably should have been a little bit more clear, because it isn't a blurring primer. It doesn't blur my skin. It just makes it matte and makes my makeup last longer. I think they should have been better at like describing this product, because I've seen a lot of people buying it expecting it to be a blurring primer, which makes sense because that's what it says on the packaging. So I really think that they should have explained that a little bit better, if I'm gonna be honest. I love it though, but I totally understand why someone would not. This one was mentioned as a least favorite by Steph's Beauty Stash, and this was mentioned as one of my favorite foundations of the year. And this is the REM Beauty foundation. It just says foundation. I'm sure there's a name to it, but it's the Ariana Grande brand, and I love this one. And I really don't 100% know. I should really like check more into exactly why she didn't like it. But she usually tests foundation for a really long time. I mean, which I do as well. She never goes on like a first impression. But for me, I mean, I think it is a beautiful match. I have mine in medium 2N. I think this is a really nice true neutral as well, that is not too peachy and not too gray. And on me, this wears beautifully, it looks beautifully. It almost comes out a little like creamy, I don't want to say moussey, but it's definitely not a liquidy foundation, and usually I go for liquidy foundations. I'm gonna put a little note here because I definitely should have looked a little bit more into exactly why she didn't like the product, and then you can compare, because for me, I feel like this is a nice natural finish, full coverage, long wearing foundation that just looks beautiful. I don't know if we have the same skin type though. I keep thinking we do because she also lives in Texas like me and we are around the same age. But now that I think of it, maybe she has dry skin. Or maybe we just like different things, which is also perfectly fine. People like different things. But on me, I feel like this foundation is wonderful. And just shows how different people can just like different things. I think this is fabulous. I haven't worn this foundation for a couple of weeks. I really like it. I think that is lovely. This is one of my most used, this concealer has seen the world. It has seen the world, it has seen everything. This is the Maybelline 30 Hour Super Stay Concealer, and I know my friend Ali Dawson did not like this one. I will say, this is not a full coverage concealer. If you want a full coverage concealer, one that's a little creamier, this is liquidy. It is medium coverage. This isn't for you. If you want something full coverage, something that's a little creamier, I'm not sure you will enjoy this, but I like a medium coverage concealer, and I especially like a concealer that's liquidy. I don't like a thick concealer. A lot of people, and I will film the equivalent to this one, which is a full face of makeup that people loved, where I actually don't agree with some of those either. Ooh, let me get a brush. And a lot of people are loving the Natasha Denona concealer, like a lot of people. I actually decluttered mine because I couldn't get it to work. It was just too thick on my under eyes. It said it was a serum concealer, but for me, it just creased and it looked heavy. And did it look hydrating? Maybe, but like it just looked creasy and heavy and I just could not get it to work. I had to like literally bake on my under eyes to get that concealer to not crease into something that looks like zebra under eyes. I'm not doing zebra under eyes. We're not doing that. That's not my journey. So it wasn't for me, but I totally understand if you do not have a lot of fine lines, if you don't have that much problem with creasing like I do, I'm sure that concealer is lovely. For me, it just didn't work. I think that this looks incredible. Now I'm gonna use something that I actually agree. I agree that I don't... So maybe this is why I ruin everything. This is the Easy Bake and Snatch by Huda Beauty. And I think that this one is very mediocre. I love her loose powder. This one is just... It's heavy. It's almost like... So rude. I'm sitting down to edit and I'm realizing I didn't mention who had this as the worst favorite. I'm just mentioning that I myself did not like this powder, but Tati had this as the worst, one of the worst powders of the year. Also Laura May Beauty and my friend Heather Austin as well. So there was a lot of people that just didn't think that this was everything. Let's just say that. It's almost meant to be like a little satiny, so there's like a little sheen to it. So it's supposed to look a little almost like, you know, more effortless and like a little natural, but it also looks heavy at the same time. And this on my under eyes, which is what I'm gonna do today, or am I? You know what? I'm taking one for the team. I'm gonna do this on my under eyes. I'm gonna use a brush so I don't overuse it. At least I'm using it with a concealer that I know I really like. But yeah, this powder, I don't feel like it sets anything, and I also feel like it looks almost a little weird on my under eyes. But I also know that like my friend Samantha March, she loves this powder, but she also loves a luminous powder, but she really likes this one. But I thought there were other luminous powders that are better, but it just shows that different people can like different things. But I much prefer her loose powder over this one. But I do, if I can like choose between a pressed powder and a loose powder, I will always choose a pressed powder. I just wish that this one was the same as the loose powder, which it is not. I know I'm sitting a little bit more away from the camera today because I wanted to chat and have a little bit more out, but I wanted like, I hope you can see how this concealer is just a powder. It's making this concealer not its best version. It almost looks shiny, but still textured. It's looking a little rough and heavy, but it's still like a little shiny. It's the worst of both worlds. I hope that made any kind of sense. This one, the Tarte bronzer wand, was mentioned by Kaki, and she didn't like this at all. I really like it actually. This is the Sculpt Tape by Tarte, and I will say, this is the I think the exact same price as Natasha Denona. $1 here, $1 there. Like they're so the same. Mine is a little goopy, which is the main problem with products like this. And honestly, like all of these, should I have fixed this? Maybe not. But I think that this one is a good one. For me, the main problem with this is that it is more cool tone. So it is definitely a contour and not a bronzer. And I prefer bronzer over contour, but I think it blends pretty good. I think it is a pretty good dupe for the Natasha Denona one. If you like that one, you probably like this one. I actually think that this one has a little bit more playtime than the Natasha Denona one because that one dries down very quickly. But I think it gives like a little subtle contour. Do I prefer contour over bronzer? Not really, but when I do like a contour, I do think that this is a nice product. With that being said, it is very sheer, just like the Charlotte Tilbury one. So if you don't like working with something that's very sheer and pretty liquidy, honestly, that's why I'm like doing a little at a time so that it doesn't break up what's going on underneath. Because if you keep doing it all over your face and leaving it a bit, it's so liquidy that it might end up disrupting what's going on underneath. But I do think that it like is a good product. It's very sheer, and for that reason, it's not that easy to like mess up. I don't know why I'm putting it here though, because again, it's not a bronzer and I don't need to contour my forehead. But it warmed up a little bit actually. I think it's just a little bit more on, almost like a pinky side on me. And I don't prefer that kind of a bronzer color on me. Or like, it is a contour, right? It says Sculpt Tape. But I think that I tried to get a shade that was a little bit warmer. It's called Soft Bronze, so do with that information as you will. I just think that for me, it's just not the perfect bronzer color for me. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say in way too many words. Edit yourself, Angie. I am really disliking my under eyes to the point that I think I might fix it a little bit with my favorite powder and just, I don't know. Help is on the way, I guess. But now I just have way too much powder on my under eyes instead, but at least it's not shiny. I do prefer that, so win some, lose some. This is the Matte Blush Wands by Charlotte Tilbury, and both Samantha March and Andrea Mattilano said that this was like not a blush that was a favorite for them. You know me, I don't like a matte blush. This one actually got sent to me as pure. This was the first and last pure package I ever got from Charlotte Tilbury. I think I offended her. I didn't like her liquid lipstick formula. That was a really bad formula. This one is in Pillow Talk, which is a pink blush. It's not my favorite. And I don't do... Oh my god, I got way too much. That escalated quickly. I don't do matte blush. A matte cheek, I should say. So for me, I always go in with something on top, like a highlighter, because I feel like it's just not my favorite for me, like finish wise. I like something that's a little bit more, dare I say, just glowy. And it does go on glowy, but I feel like this one does dry down a little bit more than I prefer. So I like it to be a little bit more glowy than this. And we do have another glowy product to talk about that I actually really liked. I liked it so much that I bought a second color. This one, I don't dislike it, but it's not a favorite for me. And I think the big reason is it's matte. If I can get a shimmery version, which I mean, her originals are shimmery, I'm always going to prefer that. And that's the reason why I actually didn't even buy this one myself. I got it SPR and I was like, you know what, I'll try it. And I think the formula is nice. Again, I have realized myself that I do prefer not putting the poof on. How many years did it take me to not put the apple? I wish products that are like this, the shimmery ones I can put directly on the skin. I have noticed that some formulas, like matte ones, some that are a little bit too liquidy. I don't think the Charlotte Tilbury ones are too liquidy though. I do much prefer putting them on the brush first. Some people putting them on the back of the hand first. That's, I mean, the same thing. And it took me a really long time to realize that not all products are created equal, but also I do think that like when you have a packaging like in a stick or in a poof, that I feel is like you have it in that packaging because you want to put it directly on your skin, and then the formula doesn't really lend itself to be perfect like that. It makes me wonder, like, why isn't it a doe foot? Or like, why isn't it a squeezy tube if we're gonna mess with this like poof applicator and you can't really even use the poof. And that's just me. Okay, I love this product. I love this product. And this was one of the least favorite products of Nomad Beauty. And I love them. This is the Bare Minerals Highlighting Blushes. I love them so much that I got a second one. I have Peach Glow, which is more of a very faint golden peachy, almost like a little golden peach. Did I say that? I did. And then we have this one that is the Mauve Glow. This is the second one I bought. And this one has a little bit more of a visible blush on the skin. I'm going to use my blush brush and I'm going to put it on. If you are looking for a pigmented blush, these aren't that. These are a highlighter formula that has a little bit of a base color. So that if you like just a faint blush, but you like a glowy cheek, these are perfect. These are more highlighter than blush. And I love a glowy cheek, but if you like something to be more blush than highlight, these might not be for you because again, they're more highlight than blush, but like look at that cheek. I think this is beautiful. I know some people are like, oh, that's gonna accentuate my pores. It accentuates my pores too. I am okay. I am living the glowy pore life. I don't mind the glowy pore. We all have pores, but I do like a really nice glass-like cheek. I think that is just so pretty. This is something that I like. I saw a trend report and someone said that glass cheeks are in, like wet cheeks. And I'm like, I love that. I am all about that life. I love that. I think that looks great, but I totally could see if you were looking for a glowy blush, this might not be that because they're leaning a little bit more on the highlighty side. They're more like I said, a highlighter with a colored base. So I totally understand why someone would buy these as a blush and be like, I don't know about these. Can I just say, I'm just gonna put a lip color on because I decluttered all of the lippies that I had that I thought was the worst of the year. But almost every person mentioned those plumping, like milky lip glosses by Makeup by Mario. I don't even remember the name. I'll put the picture up here somewhere. Almost every single person on this list mentioned that as their worst lipstick of the year. I also did not like mine, so I'd already decluttered it. But it's fascinating to see that something can be released by a brand and just unanimously across the board. Am I using that word correctly? I tasted it and it didn't feel right. I hope I said that somewhat correctly. I'm trying to explore English, learn even more. Probably not doing something correct, and people will let me know in caps lock down in the comments. That lip product wasn't good. It was a very watery, pigmented gloss that just bled, and then it stopped being glossy because it's just almost like a water tint. So it left a just satin lipstick after it that just bled. It wasn't a good product. It wasn't a good product. It was trying to be a gloss, but it was just a watery mess that ended up being a satin lipstick. And it's just, that wasn't a good product. I am actually surprised that I can still find that at the Makeup by Mario gondola. And I am predicting, just feeling the air, I'm predicting that will just quietly be discontinued throughout this year. So I'm just gonna put on the lippy and I'm gonna apply some eye primer, and we are gonna use an eyeshadow palette that one of my besties said was her least favorite palette of the year, but it's one of my favorite palettes of the year. I even ranked it as number 2. I think I'm about to fight her over this. She's literally coming to visit me tomorrow as I'm filming this, and I'm just gonna be like, how dare you? I'm just gonna do an orange lip oil because I love orange. Orange is my favorite color to wear on the lips and on the cheeks, and on the eyes I love it too, but I think I love blue and yellow more on the eyes when it comes to that. Fun fact also, and I should probably mention this a little bit more often, but Blend Money, I do have a code with them. My code is Angelica, and you can get 10% off when you're ordering from the brand. But this Friday, March 1st, you will actually get 20% off Blend Money Cosmetics with my code Angelica. I know, so it's like getting a sale with using my code. So if you're interested in anything from Blend Money Cosmetics, their palettes, their lip oils, anything else, you can get them at 20% off during Friday, the 1st of March. I will put some more info about that down below as well, because I need to film something so that you know if you were interested in trying the brand. Love this orange lippy though. Okay. I love Samantha March. She's one of my besties. She's actually coming to visit me tomorrow. But she did not like the Yucca palette. She mentioned that as one of her least favorite palettes of 2023, and of course I'm not gonna fight her over it. We all have different preferences, but I love this palette. I mentioned this one as my number 2 in my yearly ranking of all the palettes that I tried of last year because I love it. I think it has the great Natasha Denona quality, and I think there's a lot of variation in here, but actually one of her cons is that she thought that whatever look she did, they always ended up looking the same, and I think that is very fascinating because it shows that me and Samantha, we do our makeup very differently because I feel the opposite. It's not that I'm right and she's wrong or vice versa. It's more like, how do you do your makeup and will you get the use that you deserve out of this palette, basically. I really like it though. And since I'm wearing like this little, like, I don't know, flower power inspired thing, I was thinking I wanted to do actually something a little bit more yellowy and using this one in the inner corner. What is this on my hand? Is this from the Tarte one? I think so. Oh, and I still didn't do any eye primer. Here we go. I think I'm gonna start with this brown down here, and I think I'm just gonna do a little bit in my outer corner. I think that's, I'm just gonna do something super simple. I love this palette, and I want to do something yellow and orange. I don't know if I did something that was like dedicated that when I did like my initial review, because I've done it like off YouTube, but maybe I have. I don't even remember my looks for that. I have used this palette so much because I absolutely love it. I think it is so lovely. And I think my main color is going to be this cream to powder. It is called Fushi. Oh, and I have this one as a liner as well. I should probably be using this. So this is a cream to powder. I just use it with my normal brushes, but usually these blend immaculate. These do not crease on me, even on top of a primer, but sometimes I have to build them up a little bit more to get the opacity I want, which is not really a problem for me because of how versatile the formula is and because of the fact that for me they do build up. But I love this color. Oh, I should go get the eye pencil. We can use that under our eyes. I just love this warm yellow that's leaning a little orange. No surprise. Okay, so this is the eye pen, and this is also in Fushi. So I'm gonna use that on my waterline. And I also kind of want to use it on my lower lash line as like a little bit of a base for the yellow. So I'm gonna take a detail brush and I'm gonna take more of Fushi and I'm just gonna set that and just intensify this yellow before we go into this very light one that is called Camu Camu. This one. Can you see my dress here? Cute. So I'm gonna use an EO1 with Camu Camu, and it picks up wonderfully, and we are gonna put this on the lid, and I'm pressing. You can tell I'm not swiping, I'm pressing, and I'm gonna gently put it in the crease too, just like fading it into the yellow that we have going on here. But I'd like it to go a little bit above my fold, like the hood that I have, because it's gonna make my lid appear bigger. I think we're gonna do a little bit of shimmer too, right? Or like, do we need it? A little bit maybe. And I'm gonna put it in the inner corner and just a little bit on the lower side, not too much. So I'm thinking this one maybe? It is called Ray. It is not like this super sparkly one, it's more like a traditional metallic. And I'm thinking we'll just do a little bit on the middle, just to make the two colors meet. Well, here's my full face of makeup that other creators said was the worst makeup of 2023. A lot of these products actually part of my favorites. I did not have the lippy though. I will say a lot of people, they mentioned one lippy and it was like that makeup was the Makeup by Mario one. I don't blame them. That was not a good one. But here's the thing. Are these people incorrect? No. If they hated it, they hated it. Am I incorrect? No. If I loved it, I loved it. We all have different preferences. We all have different expectations. Like, what do you want the makeup to do for you? Like I said about these blushes. If you're buying this expecting to get a pigmented blush, you might be disappointed because it is more of a faint blush with a highlighty sheen. And also with like this primer, if you're expecting to get a blurring primer, you're gonna be disappointed because it's not like the main focus, like the quick fix main focus of that product. And also we all are in different ages, living in different climates, having different skin concerns. So everything can just wear differently on a lot of people depending on where you are, who you are, how old you are, and like what you're expecting from the product. And I hope we all get to bring this with us when we look at reviews online, because I see sometimes in my comments dry girlies saying, oh, you didn't like this product, it might be perfect for me. So do try to keep this in mind, because I see sometimes that people are like, this person hated that product, but this person loved that product. Who's lying? Nobody has to be lying. I think we're all just doing the best we can. I hope you're having an amazing day. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave. If you want to see another video, if you're not done, I'm putting a video right here where you can just watch whatever else has been going on my channel. But either way, I hope your day is smashing, and I will see you soon again. Bye!